We have 1 minute to go. Eliud Kipchoge is on his way here.
It's not going to be a minute.
This humble farmer who used to run 2 miles to school every day and back. He used to go to the nearest town on his bike to sell milk at the local market. And now, through hard work and discipline, he's pointing. Come on, he says. Eliud Kipchoge has the hand of history on his shoulder. He has less than 200 meters to go. Eliud Kipchoge, let's keep an eye on the clock, into the final 20 seconds. Eliud Kipchoge has on his shoulder. 140, the unofficial time.
There's his wife.
Eliud.
It's a wonderful pleasure and a big honor to join these delegates from the CEO Roundtable. I want to thank you, Sanjay, for your invitation. That was thoughtful of you, and this is a great opportunity for us to interact and to network and to hear lots of inspiring, I'm sure, information, advice from the legendary Eliud Kipchoge. First of all, again, it's a singular honor for me because I went to school in Kipchoge's hometown. So I spent 5 years in Eldoret studying for my bachelor's and later my master's degree. So in total, more than 7 years in Eldoret. I wish I went to study track and field instead, because I went there to study technology. I'll be a world beater by now, but that's a story for another day. So Kipchoge, it's a wonderful opportunity to see you. Hope to meet you in person. I haven't done that, but Eldoret is home as well. I'm born on the coastal part of Kenya in Mombasa, but I regard Eldoret as my home as well. So you're my home buddy. Having said that, I just want to say that, to echo what Sanjay said. Last year when Kipchoge was making his bid, the 1.59 run, we had a session here in Hyatt Regency to celebrate you and bring all humanity, people from every nationality that we could get, including, I've seen my friend here, the ambassador of Italy to Tanzania. We were together with friends and we rooted for you. We were shouting and seeing you break the record, and it was a beautiful moment there. So you made humanity proud and you inspired all of us. Next time you're running, by the way, we want to do the same thing. We want to go back to Hyatt and do the same thing again and keep rooting for you. I just want to say a few words before I invite you, Eliud, that you keep showing us that ordinary people can do extraordinary things, and for me that's a huge lesson. Sanjay is an ordinary guy, but look at what he's doing, extraordinary stuff in many fronts. That's a lesson for us and other generations to come, that we can be ordinary people, but we can do extraordinary things. And I want us to all learn from that. But also, Eliud, when you're running, you're not just running as Eliud. You are in my field now when you do that. You're a diplomat. You run our flag, you run the flag of Kenya, you run the flag of East Africa, you run the flag of Africa, you run the flag of, you fly the flag of humanity. And that's why colleagues or friends, President Uhuru Kenyatta gave Eliud the second highest medal in the country that I have the honor of having as well, the Elder of the Golden Heart. Okay, so Eliud is an Elder of the Golden Heart now. Any other medal beyond that, that means he'll be President of Kenya. That's Chief of the Golden Heart. So that's how much we celebrate him and in the country, and believe that's the same for the region. But also, when I think about Eliud, I see leadership. You know, you're not just running, you're challenging us to be better, to do more. Because I believe you can't lead people unless you start leading yourself. And I think that's something that I want to practice every day. How do I push myself so hard so I can push others, who look up to me? So we saw you in you, Eliud, leadership, and we celebrate that up to today. But like I said, you inspire a lot of people in Africa and beyond. You inspire the next generation to do better. That nothing is possible, and I think that's a very very big lesson from what you achieved last year. Finally, before I invite you, I think one thing that you've shown all of us, especially as I talk to the CEOs here and the business people and business leaders, is the power of partnership. You know, I thought you were going to run that race alone, Eliud, until I saw you with a battery of world-class runners who backed you all the way until you finish your race successfully. So, and that to me showed the power of partnership. You can be brilliant, but you can't do things alone. If you can do a lot better if you have people around. So I thought that for us was a huge lesson, and we're so proud of you. We're so proud of your humility, and I think that's really good. Humility is legendary. You're a true legend, my brother, my countryman, my compatriot, great East African and African and human being. And it's my honor and privilege. I don't know where Sanjay should go on with this.
Yeah.
I invite now. I don't know you're going to do the honor or I do the honor.
No, I'll have to say a little bit so he can take over.
Thank you.
So
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Balozi. Very quickly, a few words from my side. So Eliud has been in our life, but he has re-emerged in my life again recently through my auntie. You know, I have an aunt called Meena Kagram, who is a friend of Eliud. What this tells every CEO on the call is even choose your wise aunties to be your networks. So that's number one. When I speak to my auntie, this is how she describes, Eliud. She says that Eliud has a wonderful mother called Janet, and she has given this world a gift. And that gift is none other but Eliud. She also says that Eliud is an amazing human being, handsome from outside and handsome from inside, because he not only inspires people, but with what he does is his purpose in life to contribute to human lives is just mind-boggling. It's just incredible and very inspirational. I don't know if the CEOs and leaders on the call know, but Eliud has a slogan in life, and maybe he'll talk a little bit more about this, way before he achieved his big feat, and that is, no human is limited. I want to repeat, no human is limited. Eliud, it'd be nice that we get to hear your story, you know, your focus, your mindset, your dreams, your passion, what inspires you every day out, and what made you to achieve that. With that, ladies and gentlemen, my fellow friends, I'm going to welcome the fastest marathon runner on this planet, something that no human has ever achieved. Welcome, Eliud, to the CEO Roundtable. Asante.
Thank you, Sanjay. Diplomats around, all delegates from CEO Roundtable. I want actually to say thank you for giving me this chance actually to hear my story and to hear what actually has been motivating me and what actually makes me to be successful. First and foremost is that all of us, we are one. And actually sport has taken most of my life. And that's what actually put me the limelight in this world. I will go straight to actually what takes to be successful actually what takes a CEO to be successful in an organization. What takes a diplomat to be successful actually when he's doing those diplomatic work in another country. The first thing is actually is that it starts with you. If you say yes, I want actually to deliver and I want to take my company to the next level. That's point number one. Point number two is that it takes that one CEO to understand what he or she actually wants to be or one sees or our own employees actually to be in future. And that is that if you actually consider to say, yes, I want to be successful, then in life, you are 50% successful. And when you are 50% successful, then you only work on the next 50. And it's easy to work on the next 50. But remember that it's not easy to work in those 50 without some facts. The first fact actually is self-discipline. In an organization, you need to be self-disciplined and not the only CEO to be self-disciplined. The self-discipline actually should start from top to the bottom, from the CEO to the sweeper in the company. And that's how the self-discipline is. But self-discipline actually, you cannot actually hand that self-discipline one night. It's not a one-night event. It's the process. It's the process. It's like going to the gymnasium for 9 hours and you want to build your big muscle. It's impossible. You need to go to the gym for about 3 to 6 months in order to get some to build your muscle. I will give you a diagram. You see this one. You can see?
Yes.
This diagram actually, this person has attended a gym session, but he has built only on his chest, but he has tiny legs, like a mosquito. He has a tiny neck. This is not required. It needs to be uniform from up to the bottom in order for an organization to move on. I will give you another diagram. You see this one? This is the right diagram. This is a person now. This person actually has attended gymnasium for more than 6 months, but he or she is actually equal from up to the bottom. That's how to build self-discipline. But let me ask you one question. How can we cultivate this self-discipline? How can we hand this self-discipline? First, we need to set our priorities right. That's point number one. Secondly, we need actually to learn to say no. In this world, me and other people, we lack vitamin N. We call it vitamin N. Vitamin N means no. Nobody can say no. But if you have that, if you learn to say no, then actually you can hand self-discipline. Thirdly, actually is that don't make excuses. If you are failed, you are failed. You learn from it. You can't lose. Don't make excuses. Fourthly, make this lifestyle. Make self-discipline your lifestyle. That's about self-discipline. Secondly is that when you actually want to be successful, you need to prepare well and plan well. When I am actually running or training, I don't mind about being successful, but I mind about my preparation and my planning. I am a believer of a philosophy which says, to be successful is not important, but how to prepare and plan is critically crucial. How to prepare and plan is really important. So if you are well prepared, well planned, then success comes on your way. I will give you an example. I took 5 months to train for Ineos 159 challenge. I did not think of performing or running under 2 hours, but my mind was on preparation. Am I eating the targets? Am I training without pain? Are my teammates actually training in a good way with me? That's about preparation. Planning is actually being with the coaches and the management. That's how planning is. So you can connect preparation and planning, and success comes on your way. Thirdly, you should be really organized. When you are sleeping, you need to know what you will be doing the next day. Don't plan what you will be doing in the morning. I have a book and write 20 points what you will be doing on the next day. And your day will move in a smooth way. Fourthly, actually, is the positive attitude towards your fellow CEOs, towards your fellow employees, towards your top management in your company. It's the positive attitude. You should apply the law of substitution. The law of substitution actually says this. It says you can only hold one thought in your mind at a time. You can only hold one thought in your mind at a time, either negative or positive. That's the law of substitution. It says also you can decide to choose to be positive of your organization or negative of your organization. That's the law of substitution. I actually encourage all the CEOs who are present and listening to me, please be positive and apply this law substitution, because you have only one mind, but you need to actually have one thought, either negative or positive, but please be positive about your organization. Fifth,
Eliud,
yes.
Eliud, 1 second. I hear some people can't hear. Maggie, can everybody hear?
Yes, we can, Sanjay, we can.
Yes, Sanjay, we do.
Good, please. Okay, let's go mute. Thank you, go on.
Hey, Sanjay, you can listen, you can hear me now?
Very well, thank you.
Yes, so the fifth one is teamwork. Why teamwork? Teamwork is that you can, in this world, you cannot live alone. And teamwork is what actually drives anybody to be successful. I'm a believer of a philosophy where it says 100% of myself is nothing compared to 1% of the whole team. That's teamwork. 100% of myself is nothing compared to 1% of the whole team. And that's how teamwork is. When I was learning last year, I had a great teamwork. From my training mates, to the coaches, to the management, to the sponsors, and to the best setters. It was a great team. And we believe actually in that philosophy ourselves. So and vice versa, it says 1% of the whole team is critically crucial than 100% of myself. So teamwork is really crucial. Sixth is actually you should identify a mentor, either your fellow CEO or anybody or one of the world leaders that can be your mentor. 7 actually is embrace change. Change actually is important in any organization. Change is crucial. You should accept change, either in technology, either in innovation, or either in development. That's how change is. When I talk of change, I will give you a story in one of the organizations somewhere in the world. The owner of the organization actually wants to know who killed change in an organization. And he decided actually to hire the high-profile FBI people. And the FBI actually came in and talked from the top of the company to the bottom of the company. That's from the CEO to the sweeper. Fortunately now is that the organization had 15 departments. And the FBI went one by one from department 1 to department 15. And everybody actually was not comfortable with change. Research was done for 1.5 weeks. And after 1.5 weeks, then the leader of FBI actually announced and sent a memo to everybody that the one who killed change will be announced at 7 p.m. in the evening. everyone was eager actually to attend the meeting to know who is this mother who was actually killed Chen. At 7 p.m., everybody has actually assembled. They have some coffee, tea, and some and water. They drink everything. By 7:30, then the chief of FBI stand and announce who killed Chen. They actually done an autopsy because Chen actually was lying in the casket in front of everybody. And the autopsy shows that Chen died because of a heart attack. But who killed? Who made this guy to get? Who made Chen to get heart attack? After the autopsy, they found that they injected this Chen with a medicine called 15T, and it died. 15T actually represents 15 departments. They inject this Chen. Then it shows that every department killed Chen. From the top management of the company to the bottom part of the company. That's from the CEO to that ticker who is applying tea, and that person who actually mops who is always making some cleaning in the company. So everybody actually was shocked to learn that themselves, all of them are matters of change. So from that day, everybody embraced the change, and the next day, the company actually was changed, and everybody was happy. So I'm urging every CEO to embrace change and love change. 9 actually is to believe in yourself. If you don't believe in yourself, you can't make any change in any organization at all. But if you have a belief that actually you can change anything and anything is possible, then all will be well. Lastly is that you should have fun in what you are doing. You should enjoy what you are doing in order to perform well. And the 10th one is that you should be comfortable in an uncomfortable place. And that's the only way to be in this world. That's the only way to make actually big and do some big management. I will also want to add after those points that you know, every CEO should actually stay in top and become a CEO. You know, in 2018, there was actually the highest ranked army officer was a lady in American history. Her name was called Rolly Robinson. And many people actually rushed to Lori Robinson to ask, what did you do in order to succeed and actually manage the American Air Force? And you are a lady. But the response shocked everybody. The lady says, I am always up there and out. So I encourage all the management and other employees to be down here and inside the company. You should actually delegate some of the duties and manage those people to do those duties. So the lady managed the Air Force, and it's the best actually. It's the best career lady in Air Force in American history. So the lady is up there and how. So he's managing everywhere and sees what's happening from where she is up to town here through the help of all the management or the stakeholders of the management of the organization. That's of the Air Force. So it's a good example that all the CEOs should actually follow. Another thing is that if you actually give a chance to the young people in the society or the young people in the company, they can perform wonders. I'll give you a story that long time ago, there was a big tree which covers the whole village. And it covers everything. The people were actually getting cold. No crops were actually, if you grow some crops, it cannot come out because it's too cold. But the chief of the whole village actually sent the huge and energetic people to that tree, to fell that tree in order for the whole community, the whole village actually, to get sun and plant some crops. But they sent the first strong man and the huge man. When they were there, then there was a bird who built its nest actually in that tree. And the bird told these guys, please, I belong here. If you fell this tree, I have no place to live. And everybody actually got paralyzed. And they did not actually hold their axe to fall that tree. They sent second, third, fourth, sixth, and seventh strongest people in the whole village. After 1 week, one of the actually knowledgeable women, the whole knowledgeable woman in the village, approached the chief and asked the chief, please send your young kids to go and fell that tree. But the chief was actually shocked and he was not happy. He told the woman, how? My junior kids cannot fell that tree. She told the chief, please, I'm older than you, even 3 times your age. Accept what I'm saying. And the chief accepts, and he sent his two kids, a boy and a girl, to go and fell that tree. Because they were young, they go slowly up to where the tree was, and they fell the tree. And the tree actually came down, and the bird did not even see the kids coming there and felling the tree. So the whole village was in a big celebration. But those who were felling the tree were the kids. What I'm trying to say is this. You should actually give time for your junior management, senior management to know and to work together. And if you give them, then they can do wonders in your organization. They can do wonders. They can do actually what you don't expect that they can do. That's an example. That's my story is an example of actually good management and seeing what's happening from up and down and delegating duties, but please oversee how those people are doing their work. Lastly is that as a CEO actually, we should apply the law of sowing and reaping. The law of sowing and reaping comes from the Bible. That's Galatians 6:7. It says, whatsoever a man sow, that shall reap. But remember, Bible is not an agricultural textbook. The law means that whatever you are reaping today in any area of life is the result of what you have sown in the past. What you are doing as a CEO for now is the result of what you will be seeing in the next 5 years. What's happening now is we have a pandemic, and this pandemic actually is not suicide. It's not the end of everything, but we need actually to come together. In this pandemic, there is no winner and there is no loser, but it's the time to connect together and see where are we taking our companies, where are we taking our organizations, where are we taking our countries. It's the day whereby we need to be united together and actually bring our minds together. I know it's against the law of nature for human beings to think together, but we need to bring our thoughts near each other and forge ahead. That's the only way to actually become successful, even after this pandemic. I always say a CEO is not a boss. A CEO is a leader. A CEO is responsible for results. A CEO is responsible for the people who are responsible for themselves. That's how a CEO is. That's how a leader is. Actually, leadership requires constant attention in your respective organization. Every day you need to actually be attentive on what's going on, either through reports or either through board meetings. That's the only way to know deeply about your company or about your organizations. What I want to try and say for the last time for now is, and then I will cut off, is that there is two types of leaderships. We have the finite leadership and infinite leadership. I'll give you an example of a finite game and infinite game. A finite game is played by non-players. They have an agreed objective that when reached, the game ends. It's like football. That's a finite game. The infinite game is played by known and unknown people. No exact rules. No such a thing as winning. But in the finite game, there is winning. So the primary objective is to keep playing, to perpetuate the game. That's the objective of infinite game. So in the infinite leadership is what we want. In the finite leadership is what we don't want, because that's competition. If there is nothing called competition as far as leadership is concerned. Even in school, people might play actually a finite game in school. But I have never had anybody who has win education. You can't win education. But you can play a competition and compete as far as schools are concerned. But you cannot win education. So I'm encouraging all the CEOs actually to play and to put in their mind the infinite leadership. The infinite leadership. In infinite leadership, there is nothing called winning. And there is nothing called losing. It's actually thinking big and taking actually ahead what's required in your organization and taking ahead your organization the way you are planned. Actually, I know all the CEOs have been doing a lot of interviews when employing some people. You can see actually people have actually done extremely well. And you can employ them. People actually can get distinction. But I have never had somebody who has won a career. Careers are there. You can win. You can perform well in school, but you can win a career. What I'm trying to say is that all of them are important, but we need actually not to compete in any organizations at all. The only way is to think big and know where are we going and where are we heading to. Where are we taking our organization in the next 10 years? Where are we taking organization in the next 20 years? That's the only way actually to be successful in this world. That's the only way to make our organizations actually as big as actually other companies in the world. That's why I always say we should have a mandate. If you are running an hotel in Tanzania, a Standard Chartered in Tanzania, a mining company, a PR company, any sort of a company, and you are a CEO, you should actually have a company or a CEO abroad. Before I call it off, and then I will allow some questions to be asked, I will actually encourage everybody to buy this book. This book is by Robert Iker. It's The Right of a Lifetime. Lessons learned from 15 years as a CEO of the Walt Disney Company. Please, if you get this book, read carefully and you will see what's happening as a CEO. Thank you very much. I want to wish everybody all the best. And if there is any question, I actually welcome all the questions and I will be happy to answer. Thank you.